Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what is up? Let's do some more rapid-fire analysis of these games. Sexiness is going to be happening in Life's Court. Alright, good. Great. Alterzim's Stronghold, big map. You'd think long games would happen on it. No, not for these players. Typically speaking, from the Terran side of things, it's blah blah blah, expand right away. Everybody does it. You should do it too. So Zergs are like, herp-de-dur, expand. And then going for the fast extractor is another little Life trademark where he wants to ensure that he has, again, fast, speed, Togalingo. So Life has no idea where his opponent is, what his opponent is doing. But, as is the case on any map, Hellions will be the mid-game choice. But an odd thing occurs. Life, who darted in, sees that this barracks has only just now completed. Again, let's look at the live cam. Only just now completed. Let's do... Excuse me. A thought experiment. Suppose for a moment that Life did not see what Maru was doing in the opening. There's some cheese that could go on. Very easy to hold off as Life on this map with this opening. Really easy. Not even going to worry about that. What if Maru went for Reapers? Well, cool. Life went for fast Zergling speed. Would be able to chase them down. And we'd have ourselves a normal game. What if Maru went for fast Hellions? That is, Hellions before Command Center. Well, we would probably still be in great condition because we'd have the speed Zerglings up and could shut it down. Not a big deal. What about if our opponent went for kind of a delayed Hellion play? In other words, Command Center into Hellion. We probably would get... The speed would probably finish, but whatever, no big deal. We would just build drones. Totally fine. Now, if we scouted those, if we scouted Reaper, we'd want Zergling speed. If we scouted Fast Hellion, we'd want Zergling speed. But if we scouted Command Center first into a barracks, suddenly there's an option that doesn't involve the Zergling speed that we're going to see out of Life. Suddenly, let me just be clear. I actually realized I thought I paused it right as it started, which really hurts what I was trying to say. Okay. We would want we'd want the speed for speed Zerglings to kill the things off in those circumstances, right? That would be our goal. If we scouted the fast Reaper, if we scouted the fast Hellion, we would want to get the speed for the speed Zerglings to kill it all off. But because, again, we have scouted this, suddenly we have an option that doesn't really rely on Zergling speed very much. I realize how unbelievably bad that would have been to have not noticed that I paused, not as it started, but before it started. Well, that's fine. My timing isn't as good as Life's. Okay. So the reason that we don't really need speed Zerglings in this case is it just takes a rather long time to get those Hellions out. A rather long time. So again, the speed is getting done. As it's getting close to finished, some more guys go back in there. It could be a 3 command center play. It could be a 2 command center straight in to those Hellions. But this Overlord Scout managed to spot all of that for us. Life has the option right now to go straight for layer units and to go for a Spire. But upon seeing this, hey, what do you know? Look at that. Some really cool things happen. Evolution chambers go down. Very long-term planning. Very long-term play. Adding in more drones. We want to get our Evo chambers early because our opponent is likely getting his engineering bays early. And then a Roach Warren goes down. A very late Roach Warren, a very oddly timed Roach Warren. Because we got the drop on him. We can see exactly what he's up to. We can send these Zerglings up and down in every which way. The truth is, most of the time, when a player has gotten up some of his Hellions, he's going to be trying to push down here and take his third base. But in this circumstance, for Life, he's just going to get the Roach Warren and apply pressure straight on back to Life. Why is this good? Because the likelihood of there being any number of threatening Marines at all is really, really low. These Roaches can lock Maru out of his own third base. Now this theme is the same theme we saw in the first two games. Life got Zergling's speed up to apply pressure to the second base and to prevent Maru from ever really getting it. Here, Life is correctly identifying that there's some rush for a third, so he's going to do a play to delay the third base with these Roaches. Usual pieces are coming up, like the 1-1 upgrades. We're still getting some drones, but not a huge amount of drones. Still building those 10 Roaches right out the gate. And here comes Life. Now, here are the Hellions. No problem. Going straight on up to where this expansion is. I said there wouldn't be a terribly large amount of Marines, and there you have it. Not a terribly large amount of Marines. So suddenly Maru's in this gross position where he really can make no good choices. Life would do some damage were he up against just a regular old Hellion play. But now that he's up against a double Hellion play, he will do a lot of damage. And we see that Zerglings are still the unit of default choice. It's not endless flooding of Roaches, it's just a little dip towards Roaches. Roach speed starting to get researched as it's like, wow, this guy's actually getting Blue Flame and might be committing a little harder to mech than I had thought. But upon more of these barracks getting revealed, I think that actually Life doesn't build any more Roaches at this point in time. I mean, Life just seized control right out the gate. Continues to waltz up in, destroying everything that he can. Speed Zerglings and Roaches accomplishing the same purpose, shutting this out. Macro Hatch is the last thing to get built, because we better get ourselves a fourth up. And then Life just continues to be the most dastardly aggressive bastard ever. I think this is a very straightforward game, but I think a very beautiful one. The fact that Life was able to scout on this map and to identify, you went command center first, and then to go, I can do a good job locking you out of a third if I get any inkling that you are going for a fast third. And Life just steps right up and finds himself some tasty reactors. Rarely do Mutalisks get this deep into a main base without any sort of threat. Overlord sacking itself. Just nothing but Lings. Banelings, Mutas. A little over 80 drones. Makes sense when you have 4 bases up and a-running. Pretty straightforward. But you still get to see the end. So you heard me say something beforehand in the previous game. Actually, may have been at the start. The Terran's general theme is to hold back and do big pushes out, and then hold back and do big pushes out. And a lot of the reason is because this is the kind of play that we're seeing out of Zergs generally. Very aggressive Muta-ing. Very nice Ling-Baneling combo-ing. Very straightforward. 16 minutes, very good time for it on the Infestation Pit. Same structure from Maru, 6 barracks, 2 factories, and a starport. GG. Alright, we're going to watch the final game. We're going to see virtually the same play that we saw in that game 4 as we will on this game 5. Very violent series, as I wrote on my website. I shouldn't really call it my website. It's the website. I didn't really take part in its creation. Do-do-do-do-do. So Life, do-do-do-do-do. Goes for a very safe play. Spawning pool first. There's been a lot of very aggressive pool type builds, or excuse me, 2-axe type builds. Remember, Maru set that precedent in Game 1. That influence is coming up here yet again. Usual stuff, going for multiple Reaper play. I think it's just a 2 Reaper play. I think this is cancelled. Yeah. So right now, Life knows it's not a super big rush to a 3rd command center. It's going to be something a little bit more aggressive. And things on Life's side of the court are going pretty normally. Reapers clearing things out, getting ready to be rejoined by their buddies. Maru gets completely and totally spotted. Life is really not worried that much about Marines, because once you see 1 Reaper, you pretty much know that there's going to be more Reapers. Only around now, when this barracks adds on a tech lab, can you really tell. Some things are a little bit suspicious for Life. He's seen this barracks get pulled pretty far back into the main base. But here's what I love so much about Life. Goes for around 6-ish minute, I think that's actually 5.5 minute extractors. Actually, there's no reason to calculate the time. We can just look at it. About 5.5 minute extractors and Roach Warren. Just pops them all down at the same time, so we're going to go to the Life cam. Sees there's that 3rd command center there. Boom, boom, right around 5:30, and in just a few seconds when he has enough cash, boom, Roach Warren down. This is sort of a weird way to defend this base that's normally defended with Zergling speed. We see there's 4 queens out right now to help take out these rocks. But there will always be some Hellions of some shape or another popping out. This double gas allows for 6 roaches that are super commonplace in Life's opening. Like, amazingly common. 7 minute getting a 3rd gas geyser. And, oh, I missed the cool moment. Life, in general, is going to just be stepping out with a few of these Hellions. Or, excuse me. Life is normally going to be stepping out with these 7 roaches to be able to attack Maru's main base and force these guys to go back. Then Life just begins to do himself some scouting. Now notice Life is building drones right now. He sees there's Hellions here, and he just goes, oh, well there's no bunker? Oh dude, I'm just going to build more roaches. And per usual, Life is not looking to engage with roaches. He's looking to go around with roaches. So he just builds a nice good old pack of roaches and moves straight on into the main base. Zergling speed next to come. Upgrades next to come. Notoriously late layers. A really big and awesome theme out of Life. And there's the layer coming up now. The creep spread, that's always a real pain in the butt to get spread across. Doing just fine. All the time in the world is bought. See spore crawlers galore. We see galore crawlers. Accidental loss of a roach, not a big deal. Spire en route. Upgrade centers. Upgrade. And thus far, it's just a pretty nice defense. Very nice defensive play out of our good friend Life. Now, one thing that I want to note about seeing the Cloaked Banshees and the Hellions all together, I actually got to pull back. In case it hasn't been completely obvious from all the games that you've seen or from all the games I've casted, Hellion Banshee is very expensive. This is a pretty swift 3 command center play. There's still no add-on here. Now it's finally coming down. A single Marine to kill off the Overlord. That's all the detour that was taken. Not a lot of damage was dealt by the Roaches. And it's only 2 Banshees right now that have been built. We still don't see the upgraders. We still don't see the swell of barracks. This really needs to do quite a lot of damage to queens and workers and other things. But we've seen Life has all the time in the world to get up the spore crawlers that he needs. There's this nice ring of 3. There's a bonus spore crawler in the main. Plenty of time. There's a lot of queens out. 5 queens, almost 6 queens. Extremely difficult for Maru to continue to press. And so right now, as we're seeing all these drones get built, Maru is severely far behind in his infrastructure and is again in this uncomfortable situation where he really must deal damage with this. Normally in Life's shoes, Life would be struggling to get these spore crawlers into a good position. The Hellions would have continued to apply pressure to the drone line. But by virtue of that Roach counterattack, even though the Roach counterattack just completely and utterly got owned, did a little bit of delaying of the mining and did a huge delay of this Hellion Banshee play. And once stuff finally gets into the main, I mean, it just gets killed so badly. And now Mutalisks are coming out, and I think there's like 10 Marines, no, 5 Marines out. And thus begins the gruesome end. It's kind of hard to like spot the mines as well as Life does, but he's really good at it. And his sort of funky finisher, we see Roach speed and Baneling speed are the choices for Life to just bust in there, kill everything off, and end it. A lot of this is motivated by the fact that if you are in Maru's shoes, you have to answer these Mutalisks in a very big way, which can oftentimes put you in a very weak position against just regular busts. Generally, there's a favoritism towards more mines. Well, there's not a lot of Marines in general here. The Terran player will have the Marines and the turrets to be able to deal with big swells of Mutalisks, and that's generally what they'll be expecting. But they just don't quite have the unit count to deal with these Ling Roach Baneling bust-ins. So again, I'll break this game into 3 parts. Part 1 would be opening up with this Roach play upon smelling something that's a little bit Hellion Banshee-ish. And then just going completely around, straight into Maru's main to buy the time. While that time's being bought, setting up all the defenses, and then just playing very normally. And then seeing a window of opportunity. Oh, you just can't really have that much, so I will kill you. And just waltzes right in with Ling Bane, Ling Roach, done. Easy peasy. Let's take questions. Question time. We're going to take a few because I don't know about you. Did any of you go to GDC? Because I am just tired. I wasn't even there the entire time. There are people who were at GDC the whole time. Well, they're like halftime. I was so tired. Still recovering. Alright. Ooh. Let's see, Kotar27 says, Dear Danan, with Maru's Part 2 build, if you could be more specific about the game, like which map it was, that would help me a lot. Can you defend the more common early Roach attacks? I want that build. I'm hoping you're talking about the Heavy Rain game, Mr. Kotar. One of the big things that Kotar does to be able to do that sort of spotting is just to be very aggressive with the Reapers. The Reaper opening, Okay, yeah, here's the way to say it. The Reaper opening will generally force Zerg to get Zergling speed. If Zerg doesn't get Zergling speed, you can often deal sick damage with those early 3 Reapers. Like, really sickening amounts of damage. So that's great. You're almost happy if he doesn't get Zergling speed. If he does get Zergling speed, he doesn't quite have the gas to be able to build up a nasty roach force. You will have the time to get up a Marauder and to have your wall off up and to be safe. So that is the real trick. You don't ever even really encounter the big fast roach attacks because you are applying pressure with the Zerglings to cause the kills. To shut that out. Oh, Manbon says, we see life transition to mutas in part 1 pretty early. Is this generally a risky play, since it might be picked up by skin? Not at all. The fast muta play is the choice for life because, 1, life was behind on larva in general. And when you're low on larva, you can't really rely on many drone-heavy, or aka mineral-heavy strategies. So, since you're low on larva and low on drones, maximize their use by doing something gas-focused. This is a good rule in any matchup ever. If you're Protoss and you've been stuck one-basing against Zerg for a while, do something gas-focused rather than something mineral-focused, like get a lot of gateways. The second reason why it was good is that Maru also was behind on his tech, in particular his marine production, so it's a good choice to go mutas in that spot. Again, it's a very situational sort of thing. Yeah. I'm just going to take one more because I'm just very tired. Oh! Renecker DK. Then I'm starting to play StarCraft 2. Welcome, Renecker DK. I'm sorry I'm butchering your name. Yeah. Welcome to StarCraft 2. It's a pleasure to have you. What do you think is the easiest race to get started with and to learn more about the game? I will, as often as I can say this, I will say it. The important thing is to pick whatever one you think is the most cool. Do what just gets you excited in your head. If you see swarms of Zerg units and your pupils dilate and you drool, Zerglings, just do it, man. Go Zerg. Then what I would recommend is to start taking some 1v1 builds and ideas and play them in team games. Have fun playing team games. 1v1 games are very particular in the skill set they demand from your brain. So do the more fun, social, have a good time type stuff like in 4v4s until you can get your mechanics down and get more tuned into automating your hands and automating your brain and automating your eyes to look in the right spots at the right time. And then, after you have a little more comfort with that, then I'd approach into the 1v1 type stuffs. And you should totally watch my show, because I totally focus on 1v1s way more than anything else. Because it tickles me. This is my answer. I hope it was good. Fun Day Monday for next week. Very simple. Playing a team game where you and your allies may only build air units. That's it. You can build workers, it's fine. Queens, totally fine, but don't mass queen like a jerk. That's it. That's it. Defensive structure is totally okay. You can only build air. Submit those to Monday at day9.tv. Good. I'm gonna go. See you tomorrow for the Control Shaman. On a break. Nope. We're done with the show. Sorry, wrong.